Okay, hello everyone. Yep, I started the video and I was like, I'll be right back to sit down. It is 27 minutes later. It's all gonna be cut out. So you won't see that. I really should sew this, but it's my house dress, so what's the use? Yeah, it's very, very hot. So the hair, it curls and it does all type of stuff. We won't worry about it. Primarily, but I have something to show you. Where am I? 29, so I started at 27.
18 people were killed and 13 others injured in 2 separate shootings. Our Michelle Fisher is here live with the very latest. Michelle, Ellen, police is surrounding.
I've intentionally not been covering any of the mass shootings because I made videos about it. It's just repetitive. Every time somebody shoots somebody, is basically what I said in my video. So I'm not covering them because everybody in Maine wanted everybody to have a gun. So what else is there to say? I disagree that regular people should have a gun. Just to walk around in the street. You should be able to have one in your home. Okay, Congressman flips stance on assault ban weapon. Right. You should be able to have one in your home. You should to protect yourself. And they all said, we have a gun in our home. Yes, you do, but that does not constitute you having one just to carry around in the street. And this man carried this gun around in the street and nobody stopped him and nobody called the police. So he was able to go from place to place to place. So there's a difference. If he had come to your home, y'all could have had a shootout, right? You could have protected yourself, right? But he on the street. And because you all said, oh, it's okay to have guns on the street, nobody batted an eye. You let the motherfucker walk around with a gun. All right? So, and don't blame mental health. This has nothing to do with him being in an army and nothing to do with mental health. This has to do with an assault weapon like that. You let me see somebody with an assault weapon. I don't give a fuck. If New Jersey ever says, yeah, they can have them, I'm still calling the police. Because they shouldn't have them. But nobody in Maine said anything. He left out his house with that gun heisted up high on his goddamn shoulder and walked all throughout the town till he decided to shoot motherfuckers. How many people did he see that could have called the police on him? The police could have confronted him and taken that gun away from him, and the other people would be alive. But don't worry about listening to me. I don't make no sense. But I am running for president of the United States. I ain't got one donation of $2.50 yet. Not politicizing nothing. People are dead and they're going to continue to die because y'all want everybody to have a gun, which is not in the United States Constitution, that you can carry a gun around the street. The United States Constitution says you can have a gun in your home, not on the streets. So even with the guy that murdered the judge, I did a video on that, and I said judges are going to start to be murdered because you want to give people who, not the criminals, criminals ain't out there murdering the judges. It's all these decent people, educated law-abiding citizens that they can't handle the stress of you can't see your kids. They can't handle the embarrassment because what's going to happen to them? They're going to become us. Once you stigmatize a motherfucker, they become us. Once you put somebody in prison for crimes they didn't commit, some people lose their minds because they have this facade. I have the perfect job. I have the perfect education. I have the perfect house, wife, kids, dogs. So they're nothing but people just like the rest of us, under the same stresses like the rest of us. And when the economy hits and they can't keep up with their bills, they flip out and they shoot and kill people. And they're going to kill judges. They ain't going to kill us. See, the mass shooter, that's the one that's going to go out and kill people because y'all want everybody to have a gun. But it's just like the judge in New Jersey. Unfortunately, her son was murdered, but I don't feel sorry for her because she should have transferred that case to somebody else instead of arguing with the attorney. And what did the attorney do? Injured her husband, killed her son, then he killed himself. What did this guy do? The judge that was just murdered again, he killed himself. They're not going to wait to be arrested. You judges that are going to get murdered by your own hand. You being murdered by, sure, you are a law-abiding citizen. You can have a gun. We don't want the criminals to have a gun. Bitch, if a criminal want a gun, we're not going to go to the shop and get it. It's guns hot all on the goddamn street. Nobody is going to go and get a gun. Yes, I said we, because the government made me a criminal, even though I have not committed a crime. They put me in prison, kept me in there for 11 years. So now I'm in the criminal justice system for crimes I didn't commit. But that I got that same jacket that everybody else got. So I don't exclude myself just because I didn't do the crime. Yes, now you're part of us. See, I was part of the people who didn't have any criminal records. But now the government made sure that I had a criminal record. I'm not a murderer. I'm not a violent person. I don't assault people. But if you look at what the government said I do all these things. But you don't do that to your own white ass motherfucking people and white skinned people. Let me put it that way. White skinned people. Y'all let them have guns. Y'all let them have machine guns because they want to go shopping and they got a house and they got a car and they would never shoot a fucking judge. They would never find out where a judge lives, drive up to the judge's house and shoot the motherfucker dead. Oh no. You dumb sons of bitches. The judge in New Jersey even got a law that says their addresses can't be found. Bitch, everybody know where every judge live in the state of New Jersey. Everybody know where they live. So what good did that law do? You just striking out and you mad and you upset because you caused your son to be murdered. Oh well, reap what you sow. If you was obeying the law and if you were following the rules and you weren't a corrupt motherfucking judge, you would have transferred that case from him in the first place. And your son and your husband wouldn't be shot and dead. But then the other side of the token is, don't nobody want to take on a case where you done upset a crazy motherfucker, and now you want them to handle your case. All right. Again, I digress.
The FDA now looking into more cases like this. It's reporting on a topic we've been keeping an eye on. And you're probably seeing tons of posts on social media about the Israel-Hamas war from people in the U.S. and around the world. But some Arab citizens of Israel, who make up about 20% of the population there, they say that they're scared to post because it can have a major blowback effect. NBC's Josh Letterman has more.
The Israeli city of Ramla, Arabs and Jews have been living, working, and raising families on the same land for centuries. Yusuf El-Shamli, a grandfather and one of Israel's Arab citizens, says his family has been here for 80 years. But these days, Yusuf fears if he says one word about the suffering of Arabs in Gaza, the Shin Bet, Israel's internal security service, will arrest him. I ask him how it feels to be an Arab in Israel during a war. He says, we Arabs in Israel are like a divorced couple. The kids don't know where to go, to mom or to dad. We're in the middle. Since the Israel-Gaza war started, human rights groups say hundreds of Arabs have been fired, suspended from universities, or even arrested, accused of supporting terror or sympathizing with Hamas, mostly on social media. Israel's police chief has declared zero tolerance for inciting violence at pro-Hamas protests, saying on TikTok, anyone who wants to identify with Gaza, go ahead. I'll put them on buses and send them there. And the president of Tel Aviv University has vowed to be very strict with students who support Hamas, writing, when we feel the offense is criminal in nature, we shall report them to the police. Hassan Jabareen runs Adala, an Arab human rights group representing 80 students who have been suspended or expelled.
We are trying to explain that these people have the right of freedom of expression to express their anger against the war and to criticize Israel, but has nothing to do with supporting violence against Israelis.
Amir, not his real name, was threatened with disciplinary proceedings after a social media post suggesting the historical oppression of Palestinians had led to the Israel-Gaza war. What was the response to that post?
The response was people accusing me of justifying terrorism. The university has sent me an email basically saying that they have reason to believe that I am supporting the actions of a certain side of Israel.
The side of Hamas, whose terror attacks killed more than 1,400 people and triggered an Israeli response that many Arab citizens say includes an unprecedented crackdown on free speech. Amir, who says he opposes violence against civilians, requested anonymity because he says he's concerned about even more retaliation for speaking out about what happened. How risky is it for you to be speaking out right now?
I mean, everyone is terrified.
Other Arab students have reported being doxxed, their home addresses posted on social media. And popular Palestinian singer Dalal Abu Amna was detained for 2 days, then placed under house arrest, her lawyer says, after posting a Palestinian flag emoji and the Muslim phrase, "There is no victor but God." She later took it down, but says in a new post, "They tried to strip me of my humanity, silence my voice, and humiliate me in every way." Since the war started, Israel's police says they've investigated 110 cases of incitement on social media and arrested 90 people. At least 17 have already been indicted. Most, if not all, are believed to be Arabs, although the police haven't said. Israel police telling NBC News, these acts of incitement present a significant threat to the stability of public order and the overall tranquility within our communities. In a nation of nearly 10 million people, roughly 2 million are Arab, about a fifth of the population. In many mixed cities in Israel, there are mosques right next to synagogues. Some Arabs who are also Israeli citizens say they feel caught between conflicting identities. Back in Ramla, Yusuf El-Shamali is at the bustling shuk, or market, buying vegetables from Moshe, who he's known for 30 years. He tells me what you see in the media, Jews and Arabs always at odds, isn't what you see in the market. Here's a Jew. I'm an Arab. They're Arabs. Yusuf says, here in a mixed city, we're family. The problem, you see, is government.
What?
Josh, that's fascinating.
Government?
But you know,
who's been saying that for over a few years?
And there's a fine line between free speech and incitement to violence, right?
That's absolutely right, Tom. This is a gray area, and that really is the problem here. Israel does have laws that protect free speech, but there are exceptions for national security, for things like inciting violence or supporting terror groups, of which Israel considers Hamas to be a terror group. But this is in the eye of the beholder. So, for example, if you voice support online for people who are living in Hamas-run Gaza Strip, does that constitute support for Hamas? Some of these people who have been arrested say that they simply posted verses from the Quran that were interpreted by Israel's authorities as somehow support for violence against the Israeli state. And
that's
so that
racism.
is a key challenge here. But some of these students, we should point out, have successfully challenged the disciplinary proceedings with their universities, Tom.
Josh, good report. Thank you very much.
That's an excellent report, because, and the reason I played that is because just several people came on my channel, first telling me I don't know what I'm talking about. Then, secondly, saying all type of crazy stuff. Just like the same foolish stuff as that. At no time does somebody have to agree with me at all. Just be sensible is all I'm asking. You don't have to be a scholar. You don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to be anything on my channel. It's just to have a sensible conversation about it. And if you agree, we agree, and we agree, and we don't agree, then we don't agree. But my whole point in making the statements that I've made on my channel is to have a dialogue with people, so people aren't short-sighted, so they aren't taking the loud racism of this. This is my latest.
Israelis do when Hamas is right next door, having just killed 1,400 Israelis and fired 6,000 missiles. And it's beautiful thought. They will live side by side, but they did, and that happened. So now what?
Well, okay, Harvey. First of all, no, they did not. There are a few Palestine who decided to do a terrorist act against a few Israelis. So you're blaming every single solitary Palestine person for what the terrorists did. So if I'm a Palestine person and I'm like, well, my home is going to be destroyed, my hospital is going to be destroyed, my kids are going to be murdered, I'm going to be murdered, then that's how you get sympathy toward Hamas. Because if I'm Hamas and I see you're going to destroy everybody and anything that starts with a P, all of the hostages are coming out with body parts.
Nothing but body parts. Because what you're doing is you're telling me, I don't care what you say, you killed 1,400 Israelites, and we're going to destroy you. We're going to destroy anybody who supports you. We're going to destroy anybody, whether they're Palestinian or not. Anybody and everybody in between. Which is why people are saying, well, hey, now we don't want Israel to come after us, so let's negotiate on behalf of Hamas. All this negotiation on behalf of Hamas is so that the Hamas terrorists can get away. You're not going to get one Hamas terrorist. As they release people, the Hamas people are being, because nobody knows what Hamas looks like. Remember when ISIS was out and they had the pictures of ISIS? Nobody knows what Hamas looks like. And that is why everybody is being bombed. I've called for it before. Where are the pictures of Hamas? Where are the pictures? Who's the leader? You don't know. It's just Hamas. Whether you know and you're not saying, you're not releasing the pictures. And you're waiting for people in the community to say, he was involved with Hamas. Okay, well, now you got somebody who doesn't want their home destroyed, pointing at a motherfucker that may or may not be involved with Hamas, saying he's Hamas. And then the next one saying, no, that's Hamas. No, that's Hamas. So now you got people just pointing people out to get the heat off their goddamn back. But Hamas is not these people. Hamas is not amongst these people. Anyway, let me go back to my channel, because there was one person who had a Trojan.
So, look,
here comes some fear-mongering.
you know what the reality
This was
is?
the video.
There are no winners here, okay? Only horrible deaths.
That started it all.
But just one last point, please, because you know for a fact that if you just let these people go, quote unquote, like you say, with Hamas in charge, they will immediately attempt and will succeed in killing mass numbers of Israelis.
So they won't.
That's what they will do the moment they get that.
The Israelis inside Israel?
Israelis inside Israel, the Israelis inside.
See,
inside
10% of them know.
Killed like this instantly, and that's hundreds of thousands of Israeli people. You just cannot do that. You can't acknowledge, on the one hand, they're barbaric and horrible and they're dictatorial and just let them.
Somebody said this about Jewish people.
So
What would he say?
Hopefully, what I hope happens
Anti-Semitic.
is going forward. After this is done, the initiation of violence should be what.
So,
Okay, so there were 89 responses back and forth.
Winners here, okay?
Back and forth between this video. There were 89 responses, and The main thing they wanted to know was that was not Ben Shapiro. I don't give a damn. His name is Ben Shapiro. I don't care what his name is. I forgot. He's always on TYT. So, so here's somebody named White Knight saying that Ben Shapiro was correct. Plus, I don't want to highlight his name. I don't even want to put his name. That's the other reason. He said, the truth hurts. The guy on the right was correct. He's referring to Ben Shapiro. Correct. And the woman talking over the video seems to be lacking the knowledge and understanding of the facts. No, at White Knight 06604. This was 6 days ago. You are the one lacking the knowledge. You are the one who is incorrect along with Ben Shapiro. This is not correct. As you've seen from the video that I've just shown. They have been living amongst each other. Palestinians and Israelis, they have children together. They have families together. Just like the Muslims that are living amongst them. All of this is the government. So you're wrong. You're wrong. And normally I don't do what I told you so, but I'm going to do what I told you so because you people have to stop being racist. And I did another short where I said, okay, take out Palestinians and put your race in the place of the word Palestinians. Is it okay for any government, whether it's Israel or any government anywhere, to bomb the shit out of everybody in your race because maybe 5 or 6 people in your race decided to do a terrorist act? We don't do that in America. So why is Biden supporting and Biden and who else did this? Cory Booker and any of the Democrats and Republicans that are supporting sending $60 billion. $60 billion to Netanyahu. Anybody who is supporting sending money to him, you are supporting a terrorist. He is committing crimes, war crimes. What you call him is committing war crimes. And this one just thought this one right here with the horse. His name is Desert Dudes 3822. This was 6 days ago. It says, guys, keep scrolling. The lady who posted this video about Ben Shapiro, only it's not Shapiro, also said in the comments that she's running for president. And it's got the little laughy face. Oh, and she also says to all of the commenters calling her out on straight up lying about it being Shapiro, that it doesn't have to be him. She just used his name to call out all the people like him. I'm dying. Well, first of all, you're not dying because you more than likely are in the United States and you're able to voice your opinion. But if you were in Israeli and you voiced your opinion, they would shut you down. So you're not dying. And he said some other stuff too. Because it doesn't matter to me what the name is. Then somebody said, whoever this is right. It's me. JJ-PS2SEC. That was 2 weeks ago. Then there's someone named Dr. Ronald Gefaller, Gefaller, 2 weeks ago. I have yet to file a complaint against him. He told me to get mental help. Get mental help for what? Then there's somebody named Matthew Smith, 9660. He says to me 2 weeks ago, Hamas never owned anything. Stop being ignorant. I put the appropriate responses back. But I want the conversation, and I put the responses back so that you can go and look for yourself. Stop just taking what Biden says. Stop just taking what people like Ben Shapiro says. Stop just taking what the government is telling you. If people were attacked, they were attacked for a reason. Now, they should not have been attacked. They should not have been murdered. I even told one of these people on here that the Israelis were kidnapped, and they did not believe me. How do you know this? Well, they didn't kill them for any old reason. They're taking them for a reason. This happened for a reason. It's not because Ben Shapiro says, oh, they hate us, they're going to kill us. We're sworn enemies, and they're going to kill us by the hundreds of thousands. I had two reasons for stating this. Then the other person, the same JJ-PST2EC says, this has not been. Yes, I know. But let's just say I put his name in there, because he cries wolf all the time. Oh, my mother's family was this, and that. He'll switch the whole conversation and turn it into something else. So I know who the motherfucker is, because I watch TNT all the time. He's Ben Shapiro. He's not the only Ben Shapiro. He's Joe Biden. It took a few minutes for some people to figure that out. And that one person even said to me, "Oh, well, why are you writing this? And you must meant that his name was Ben Shapiro because you put his name in all caps." I said, "Lady, all of my titles are in all caps. I used to do them smaller, but I realized if you look on here and I don't have them in all caps, it's hard to read on your phone. So I started making all of them all caps. So it's easier to read the title. They're all in all caps, not just Ben Shapiro's name. So this is why I said, let's have sensible conversations, because this is not about I gotcha. This is not about I told you so. This is about if I don't know something, then you say it, I can look it up. If you don't know something, I can say it, and then you can look it up. But stop the hate. Stop coming on. Stop saying that Palestinians and Israelites should be murdered, and everybody in between should be murdered because 14 people did something. That is ludicrous. And if that happened in America, it wouldn't stand. I believe they tried that on January 6th and found out that was not going to stand. 2021. January 6th, 2021. And those people are in prison. In prison. Here's the other one.
This lady's name is Sari Bashi. She's going to tell you what part of the root problem is. See how it says the reality of apartheid in Israel and Palestine. These people will get reparations. They're already being sent reparations. And Biden's trying to send them more.
Everybody can have reparations except for black and white people.
Any person that is supporting Biden is continuing to support a racist. He's always
been a racist.
And he always will. Nobody gave a fuck because it was happening to black Americans. Now you guys are Jewish American.
Part of the root causes of the violence. There's terrible abuses going on. You just have to listen to what people on the ground are telling you and adjust accordingly. I'm an Israeli Jewish American as well. My partner is Palestinian, and I can do things that he can't do. I can travel quite freely, and even though his mother is
Israel. He's only half Palestinian. His father's Palestinian, his mother is Israel. So this is what you got people mixed in that have been living together, and so you can't just go through and just say I'm going to kill Palestinians because you're killing Israel's too. But you don't care. You don't care if somebody that was Israel went and had babies and got married to somebody that was a Muslim or Palestinian. To you, they've left your culture, they've left your race, It's the same thing that in America when white people did that to black people. The crimes against my African ancestors and my Native American ancestors were war crimes. We've not been compensated. When it happens to the Hispanics, because it's coming. Oh, it's coming. But that's okay. Don't listen to me. When this same thing happens to the Hispanics in this country, the migrants don't belong here no way, so they need to go back. Duty calls in between. Unless I'm hungry. All right, but that's what I wanted to point out. These wars that have been started by other people, and then our country pays taxes to help them rebuild their community. That is a form of reparation. Nobody's helped build up the American communities. And I already said the middle class is gone. It's not disappearing. It is gone. Your bank accounts, those of you that claiming that you're middle class, no baby, it's gone. There's no middle class. Yeah, you got a few people that's doing okay in the economy. And they'll release this report that says, oh, the economy is doing wonderful and there's more jobs. There's more jobs, but people are still in debt. Our taxes are not being used for us. Each and every American that has been in this country that were born here and that is 18 years of age, unless you are permanently disabled, that has a job, and I'm not talking about migrants, I'm eliminating migrants altogether, and you have paid taxes for 10 years or more under a social security number, because there's a lot of immigrants here that got paperwork, but they ain't paid no taxes. That's what I think it is. We should be getting weekly checks. $1,700 minimum. Exempt from everything. Exempt from taxes, exempt from child support, exempt from any bills, liens, anything. Because this is taxes that are being sent to us. Our taxes that we pay into the system being sent to us to generate more taxes. This will get Americans out of debt. I've said this in my other videos. This will help our local banks, because at least one of the checks, a requirement, you must put of the $1,700, you must put $700 in the bank and leave it there for 10 years. After that, you can use it and do what you want. But you get a minimum of 4 checks a month. Well, some months have 5 weeks in it, so I guess I should say a weekly check of $1,700. Or actually, I really just wanted to make it 4 checks a month, even if there is a 5th week. I'm discounting that week. But yeah, that's called my Money for the People program. So, and then you compensate the Black and white Americans, because there's not that many of us that have our ancestors that were slaves. Some people think I shouldn't include white people, but why not? Their ancestors were slaves. As long as they did not own them, and that's the caveat. Your family can't have owned the slave. But if it just so happens that, through time, you wound up like how I became mixed, that the person actually got with a white person, and that white person got with another white person, that does not mean that the slave was not your ancestor. But if it's a situation where you owned the slave, no, you why would you be entitled to it when you owned, your family owned the slave? But that's not the case in the where I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people who just like myself, our ancestors were stolen and brought here, and now here we are. We want our legacy. That land that was supposed to go to them is part of my legacy. It is a debt that the government owes. Stop saying it's a handout. Now, if you black in this country and you rich or you not rich or you so proud that the fuck you don't want it, sign on a piece of paper with your social security number and you will never get the reparations. If the people in this country have convinced you that you so goddamn proud that you don't want the payment for your heritage, then sign it away and be done with it. But leave other people alone who do want it, because we are owed it. It's not something that we need to beg for, and it's not something, because bitch, the last thing I am is a lazy motherfucker. I just look young. I'm not young. I've been working all my life. I started working when I was 16. So again, I'm gonna go and cut this video up. There's a lot at the beginning that doesn't need to be seen. I might leave some of it in, but just be thankful when, be thoughtful when you're saying things about what Israeli people are going through. They're not the only people that are going through something. And so right now you have a death toll of 1,400 Israelis. But you got 7,000 Palestinians, and it's growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. Why are you still killing these people? That's just murder. Netanyahu is no better than Hitler. The thing that the Jews hate the most, a Holocaust. Who does he think he is to commit a Holocaust in the Gaza Strip? When that happened to them, they ran to America. A lot of people don't know the reason Hitler did that is because capitalist. That's why that happened. Everybody says he's a madman, and he was a madman. And he's sick, and he's prejudiced, and he's racist, and he's this, and he's that, and oh, he's just a monster. But if you know that this about a motherfucker, why are you in his government trying to take over his government, Jewish people of the time? And then one of your own ratted you out. Because you probably could have got that off. But y'all so busy ratting each other out to save your own ass and cause everybody to get fucked up, including people who did not need to be. He stamped y'all because he couldn't figure out who was who. Does this all sound familiar? Who else got stamped? Who? What other race of people got stamped and marked as property? It's the same old bullshit. People think this happened in the 1600s. It's happening literally today, right now. And I take great offense to my tax dollars being sent the fuck to Israel for an Iron Dome that clearly does not work. We no longer need to pay for the Iron Dome because the Iron Dome doesn't work. Hamas proved that the Iron Dome does not work. And I'm curious as to how much of that $1.6 billion is actually going to the Iron Dome and how much of it is going to the contractors. Because the contractors are American citizens. And then the government of Israel and the other governments that got their hand in it, they take a big chunk of it, but the rest of it comes back through payments to the contractor. And the contractor has silent partners, and the silent partners are the people in Congress, Republicans and Democrats and independents. So they start these goddamn wars. I've been watching this and hearing this over and over and over again. I don't remember all these people's names, but I remember the events. Why? Because people always have to die. The people who are not in the war, the people who are not in the government, they always got to die. Why? Before they put a face on Hezbollah, and they put a face on ISIS. Now they don't even put a face on Hamas. They've wised up because now Hamas is working with them. That makes absolutely no sense to me. If I'm Hamas and I did this because of human rights being violated, and I did this because, according to Ben Shapiro, I want to kill all of the Israelites, you ain't getting nothing but body parts coming out there. They'll come out there. They'll come out there. But you're going to have to get their DNA to figure out who the fuck they are. See, none of this makes sense to me. And I said this early on. It never made sense that hand rockets could not be detected by the Iron Dome. To the degree, and where was your army? Where was your army? Why were they gone? That never made any sense to me. That you never had any, you call yourself, you don't trust the Palestinians and Hamas and all these terrorist groups, but you did not have a small army patrolling that area where that war was. Now you done got all this goddamn supplies from us, and you got a whole fleet of army trucks that we just paid for and sent over there. But before that, when there was like the old lady said, 3 weeks before there was talk about them about to attack. Why didn't you put your see? They should have never. Hamas should have never been allowed to kidnap and slaughter all those people. They didn't do that in 5 or 10 minutes. It took hours for them to do that. Probably days for them to gather those 210 people and kidnap them and take them through the tunnel. And nobody missed these people. They didn't just snatch them all up at one time. That was coordinated. And you mean to tell me the Iron Dome can hear what's going on in America to alert, what's going on in Spain and what's going on in Iraq and Iran? You can hear all those voices and any other of our enemies that's against us so that you can let us know, oh, they're coming, they're going to attack you. But you can't hear the people that's right in the goddamn Gaza Strip right with you. You can't hear what they saying with that same Iron Dome. Man, kiss my whole black motherfucking ass. I know the government had something to do with this. And I know Biden had something to do with this because his numbers was down in the 32s. And I keep telling y'all, black people keep staying home. Hispanics keep voting for Republicans. Now you got these migrants over here. They allowed them to vote, and they voted for Republicans. At least mostly down in the southern states, which is why there's so much foolishness going on down there. Only for them to turn around and make a law to kick y'all asses out the country after they got y'all to vote for them to put them in office for 6 more years. How motherfucking idiotic can y'all be? But somebody like me, she's not married. She's a woman. She's black. You should be voting for an American that wants to look after all people, all of the citizens, fairly, equally. Anyway, I'm going to register my paper, and so that I can run for president. Already said my grace, and hopefully get my message out there, because A war is coming. And if you people don't listen to anything else I say, because you don't have to, please get ready. It's not the MAGA war. It's not the war where another country is going to attack us. A war is coming. You haven't hired me to be the president of the United States, so I don't feel obligated to tell you everything or all of my ideas. That tells me you don't appreciate my knowledge. That tells me you don't appreciate the fact that I'm making these videos to even let you know what's going on. It's fine. It's America. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you everything. I said some things on my videos, and some Congress people have used it. Some other people who watch my channel have used it. It's fine, the things that I'm saying, because I want them to be used and I want them to be passed along. That's why I allow people to take my video and take clips. I have all my videos are set up so that you can take the video, download it, and take a clip. I don't have it set up. It's not blocked. My videos are not blocked. So anybody can take my video and, take it and reuse it, or take a clip and reuse it. They could also misuse it, but I got the whole video. So if that's what the fuck you're gonna do, I wouldn't advise you to do it. To take my video and take my words and say something negative, I wouldn't advise you to do that. I'm not a negative person, even though sometimes I gotta cuss a motherfucker out. But I know when to use profanity and when not to use profanity. But I promise you, my use of profanity will never stop till the day I die. But when you're the president, you can't use profanity. But I'm not president now. Right now, I'm Golda D. Harris. I can curse all I want. Said the video I made that says no profanity, no expletives, didn't nobody watch it but me. Actually, I looked at it the other day. It said 9 views. And I think I watched it 4 or 5 times. So 4 other people might watch the video. But it's the video with the least views. It's the video where I have not used any curse words. So yummy. I'm so glad my mama taught me how to cook. All right. I gotta go. In your conversations, even if you disagree with someone, don't shut them down. Don't cut them off. Dr. Gefeller, I'm going to look up your license and see what type of doctor you are. And if you are a mental health doctor, I'm going to file a complaint against you. Don't tell me to get mental help. You're not my doctor. I don't need mental health. And when I do, should I ever need it? I know to go to a doctor, go to counseling. I know to do that. I'm 56 years old. You are not my doctor. I've never met you. I've never seen you. So don't be pre-diagnosing me with some mental illness. Can't help it that I'm 56 and I still look like I'm in my late 30s. Have a good day.